Sorry. So what we are going to do now? So like I'll just given small introduction to a few things to the EDP college. Okay. So guys, we almost covered. We completed one module. Okay. So but don't worry, I will teach you that one module. What is that? Okay. For you guys, I will separately arrange another one session for the EDP college. Okay. So you have to show your audience, like you have to one minute. So for that attendance, I will just create day wise. I want to get that. So one minute, guys. I'll create one form, then I will share with you. So let's start quickly. Okay, please. Once I'm So sorry guys, sorry to make you to delay. Okay, so it is a first day for EDQ college, so that is the reason I just need to check few files. So I had it. Okay, so let's start the session now. Okay, okay, I'll just start to record the session, then we will. Okay, yes. Uh, so guys, I actually the particularly for EDQ college, we want to start the module one. I hope I will give you again one overview for you all, for for you all. Okay. Um, I'll share my screen. So then we will go. Okay. This is the content which we are going to talk now. Okay. So a few minutes, guys. I'll just give you simple introduction for this college, and then I will start that all. Okay, so actually in the module one, so I just want to tell you about the program first. Okay, I hope you know all. So you all are second year and third year students, right? From EDQ College and Dharmapuri and Tirunelveli. Okay, so particularly EDQ College, we want to start the module one, and other colleges we are in the almost we complete the module one and we are in the module two. Okay, so we will discuss about module one little bit again. So just I'm giving overview for the EDQ college. Okay, so laterly one day we will discuss about the same concepts. Okay, don't worry. So in foundation course we will study about some basics only. You will get some idea about that. Okay. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Sorry for that. Okay. So let's start the introduction to Linux operating system. We have so many operating system. So Linux is the one of the operating system, which is also it looks like a Windows operating system because we know more about Windows operating system, right? In similar way, Linux also one of the operating system. It is also like what are the operations you are doing in the Windows, all the things also you can do it. But basically, when it comes to work with the Windows operating system, we have to pay for it. So basically, in India, we are using most of the versions of pirated versions, okay, which means so we will simply for example I'm telling, so mostly we will pay in a given way, which means when we are when we are buying new laptop, so when we are buying new laptop in that time so like we will paying some amount for the laptop, right? So in that situation, yes, anyone want to say anything? Yeah, I think it is fixed. Okay. Yeah. So if in the case when we buying the new laptop, in it is defaultly we will get Windows operating system, because when we are buying the laptop, they will have some agreements with the Microsoft. Okay. So that Microsoft will have they will sell the product with the laptop companies. For example, we are using Lenovo. So Lenovo will be use Windows operating system. So how? Because they will buy the version and they will use the version. So we people all are using Windows single language operating system. Okay. So particularly for the we will use home or education. Okay. So because as a students, if you registered in the as a student using student's ID card, you are buying laptop, so you will get it in the students education operating system, which means educational operating system for Windows. You will get it. Suppose you are working in enterprise, like so that kind of in operating system you will get enterprise editions. So when you buying the own laptop, so you will get home edition. Okay, so that home edition will be having single language. That edition we will get it. Okay. Okay, so in we are not paying money for operating system, but we are paying in a some other way. Okay, so that's all. So that is the reason. So we are not talking about my Windows operating system. Okay, but when it comes to the Linux, actually it is a open source. It is a free of cost. So that is the reason we are talking about this. Second thing, in the most of the software development, most of the concepts like web development or mobile application development, even that AI, ML, sorry, AI and ML concepts, everything it is developed based on the Linux operating system. Okay, so because it is open source, so that is the main thing. So there is no any complexity for running any files. Okay, but in this situation, in goes to the Microsoft Windows or some other platform. I know Windows operating system well. You're developing software. So in the software, it has actually required some files. For example, sometimes we also face the same issues. It is a request to install some Visuals Basic or Visuals Basic Studio Code or Visual based recommend files. It is asking to install in the software. So that is actually like it is asking to do some environmental supports in Microsoft. If you need that supports, you have to pay for it, or you have to install through the licensed version. So these are the problems we will face it. But when it comes to Linux operating system, it is entirely free, so we can utilize well, and we can use it that way. Like we can use it simply that operating system. Okay. Okay, so second thing, so in the first module, in the overview, so we will get about some idea about Linux operating system, and we will talk about some command line, and we will work with the some files and all the things. So particularly we will discuss about the operating system, and we will discuss about the Linux operating system, and we will discuss about particularly the Linux kernel, and we will talk about the Linux commands and shell scripting. Okay, so actually I'm not running in my computer. Actually I'm not having any virtual machine and all, because my computer is a 12 GB RAM, but whenever I'm start to run that virtual machine, it is my computer was hang up. Okay, so that is the reason I installed the Ubuntu platform. Okay, so it is actually running on the Windows operating system. Later I will show you. Okay. Okay, I will tell you a few things. What is operating system? We know very well. So operating system, which is the intermediator between user and the computer hardware. Okay, it is an intermediator between you and computer. Okay, so how it is actually intermediator? For example, so you want to create some text file. So what you will do, so you will create the text file like this, and you will type it some content. Okay, fine. So what is this actually file is name? This particular application name, this is actually called Notepad application. So it is actually running on the Windows operating system. So this operating system, this application, it is not directly connected with the machines. It is actually connected with the operating system. So the operating system only connected with the hardwares. Okay, so now, so whatever commands, whatever process we are doing, like it is in Notepad, it is what is it, it is a Word file. So it is the Microsoft controller applications. So like there are so many files we had it. Okay, so according to that, what we can understand. Okay, so whenever we just calling as a user, whenever we just wants to do any process, we have the separate application for the different task. If you want to write any document, if you want to prepare the documentation, we will go MS Office Word document. So we want to do any presentation, we will go with the PowerPoints. So if you want to do any calculations, you will go with the calculator applications. Like there are so many applications are available to do these some certain task. Okay. So if you are asking to do some certain task, you will call this particular application. That application will on running on the operating system. That operating system will be connected with the hard disk. Oh, sorry, hardware. Okay, what actually happening in that? I know, sorry, we know all the things. The electronical machine, which means computer, is the electronical device, which means the machines know only current, which means zeros and one. Current means a power, right? Uh, 1 minute. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So we know that computer is a machine. It is knows only zeros and ones. So in the case, what we have to do, like so we want to make some electronical data. So we want to presentation, we want to do the presentation, we want to make some pp documentation, we want to write some programming, we want to do some application. So all that process will happen through the application. That application is connected with the this operating system. That operating system, it's converting that whatever commands, whatever text we are typing, everything convert into zeros and ones into the hardware system. So that process can be handled by the operating system. Okay, fine, thank you. So next thing, here you can look at that. So what are the things can available on the operating system? So there will be user, application, operating system, then hardware. So these are the things will happen in the operating system. So actually this operating system act as a interface between the computer and computer hardware with the users. Okay, that is the very important. Between user and hardware, it is working as the interface. Particularly for application, between the application and hardware, it is working as an interface. Okay, you can see it. And after that, you can see that, so it does performs file management, which mean in operating system, so we are managing some files here, right? So in this BC, I added so many files. I'll just managing all files, right? The same way, when it comes to work in the Windows operating system as well, sorry, Linux operating system as well as, we will manage everything. So that operating system can manage the file and it can do some process. What process it can be do? For example, if I want to open the calculator, I'll just open that. So when I just open this application, it is initiate to run this because of the thing operating system. So I do some process. For example, I do some process. Okay, I do some process. This executions also will held through the computer, and this is the application which is executed. That output and all the things has been connected through the through the hardware devices only. Okay, so how it is actually happening because of the operating system? So it is just whatever input. For example, I'm just pressing my keyboards, that input will be goes as an electric pulse. Okay, so I just press the keyboard, so that keyboard input will be coming on this display. So because of the reason hardware, so in between the we have a software, that software will be make us to that whatever values I pressed it, so based on that value will be appearing on the screen, because that operating system, it's behaving interface between the applications. Okay, at the same time it's do the some process, right? So it we execute the multiplication process. It is the ALU unit will be executing, which means that that is called arithmetical logical unit will be executing. So that kind of process management. For example, I'm just giving print. So I'm just given print statement, control B, I'm just pressing. So it is easily connect with my printer. So in between, what is actually happening? So I'm just connecting to print my printer. So that is also comes under the process management. Okay, fine. This is actually in the internet. This file, actually it is in internet. Now I need to download into my computer. So how I can download? I can go to the file and I can click save as, and I can download. If I download it, so the downloaded file will be comes to the downloads. Okay, so it will be comes to downloads. Okay, here you have to understand one thing. It is doing the memory management. It is storing some data. Even we people know in computer we have a there is a two kind of memory. Actually, there is a three kind of memory. So like we will talk about the two kind of memory: RAM, okay, We know RAM, okay, and we know hard disk. So hard disk will be helps to manage the file managements, and the RAM. Okay, I'll just show you that property. That is the RAM. 1 minute, I'll show you. Okay, in RAM you can see I use 12 GB RAM. Okay, just assume. So if I'm using 4 GB, what will happen? I'm running so many applications in Potom. Okay, in Potom I'm running so many applications. If I had it less RAM power, so this computer will be getting slow. It allowed to work one by one, or else it will be allowed to work it is allowed to multitasking, but the process will happen very slow. So when I do the 12 GB RAM, I do all the process very quickly. So what's happening here in the RAM memory, which helps to run the applications on the running time. Okay, so whenever I'm just calling any application on my computer, all the applications will be running on the RAM memory based. Okay, so now the RAM memory, it's creating some space to run this web browser application and this application, and for the calculator, for the control panel, for the edge browser, for the folder, for the team, like for all the software, it allocates some space to run that file. In case I'm just running more than 100 files, like I assume I just opened more than 30 tabs, which means 30 application I'm running on my computer. Actually I'm using 12 GB RAM, so each will containing 0 to, like, a 400 MP to 1 GB it is taking, so it will be different. We cannot tell this process will take this much memory, like we cannot tell. But there is another process we can see it, but I'm telling like, like roughly I'm talking. When the process is running, so based on the process usage, it occupies some memory on the RAM. Okay, so that situation, so it will get fill the RAM memory, so the process will start to get slow. So this is the process actually will happen. So now this process management and the memory management can be handled by the operating system. 1 minute guys, I'll just like, come back. 1 minute. சொல்லுங்கப்பா. 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 ஆமாங்கப்பா. சரிங்க. மழையா அங்க? சரி, இப்ப நான் அப்புறமா பேசுறேன்ப்பா. சரிங்கப்பா, வைக்கிறேன். Sorry, I forgot to I forgot that it is in the it is not in mute. I forgot to make mute. Actually, here it is raining. So, and what about your place, Tirunelveli, Dharmapuri? Are you getting rain? Say yes or no. So, guys, are you getting rain? மழை விழுதா? Yes or no? Wow, great. So nice climate and you can enjoy a lot. Great. Okay. So let's no. Okay, family, you are from Tirunelveli. I think so. In south side it is raining, I hope. So I'm from south side, so that's why I'm telling. Okay, fine. Yeah, it helps to communicate with the computer without having any skills. So basically, when we need to communicate with the computer, we need some basic skill. But when it comes to using operating system, if you need to connect with the computer, basically in that once upon a time, not now. So before coming that operating system and all the things, we need to have a like, skill, which mean assembly language. Like we have to need some skills, then only we can handle it. After coming to this operating system, we don't worry about these skills and all, so we can directly execute the operating system. Okay, so that much it is easier. And I want to complete that memory management. Okay, so it is doing the process management, it is doing memory management, and it is doing the file management as well. As I'll show you that is the thing. And it is handling the input output devices, which is a keyboard, mouse, and then output devices, screen, monitor, and it is handling that printer, like all the devices it is connected, right? So all this can be also managed it. And here it is some detailed task in the operating system. One is the process management we discussed, and memory management as well as we discussed, device management that is also we discussed, and file management that is also we discussed. File management entirely will comes here. C drive and all the things is there, right? So that is entirely will come. And storage management that will talk about the RAM memory, okay? And user interface management, this is what actually user interface, because I'm using I'm using here calculator, here Ubuntu test terminal window. I'm using Notepad. So these are the graphical user interface windows. Okay, I just simply managing that all the things using operating system and security. So security management also very important. So because so in security aspect, we know that authentications, we have a username and password, then only we will access the laptop. Apart from that, we have so many kind of things. Firewall is there, and if you want to install any security software, you can install it, and after that it will be manage everything. Even it will be having some time in some time. So in the case, like if you want to access the access your computer from somewhere, it will be asking to enter some password, and it is allowed to that private or it is allowed to public, it will be asked, right? So that kind of security management also it is available in the operating system, particularly in the Linux operating system. It is so secure. Okay, so if we also will tell, like when we people are using Linux operating system, that file won't corrupt, file won't be get a virus. Okay, because basically it is good security based operating system, and it is a good security management as well as it is having. Okay, and next thing, job accounting management. So that job accounting management, it is a very important topic, because for example, I'm running in my computer, I just connected with my printer, just for I'm telling example. So I just given the 10 files to print it. Okay, so 10 files I want to print with the computer. In the 10 files, all the files are more than 6 pages. Okay, but I had it in the only 2 files have 3 pages and 2 pages. Now this job accounting management, what actually will do, it will check priority based. Priority based means like which file it is came first, that file will be executed first. So this is what actually priority based. So here as a user, if you are influencing which is wants to go as a priority, if you set the job priority based, so automatically the operating system will be executing priority based. Okay, okay, so now when you are making the priority based, automatic priority based, okay, so it is automatically what it will be doing. So which file is a smaller one, so it is just doing the print the documentations. Even we will visit some shops, like for example, you are buying that 1,000 rupees, some like you are buying some items in shop for the 1,000 rupees. In that time, so someone is asking for 5 rupees product. Okay, he's asking the same shop, he's asking only 5 rupees product. So they, that particular job keeper won't make wait him that 5 rupees shop, like someone else came to buy something in 5 rupees, right? He won't allow to wait him, so immediately he will be given the answer, given the product. In the same case, in computer as well as there is the job accounting management. So according to that job profile, according to that job priority, it will be allocate the process, and it will be executing the process. Okay, at the same thing, accounting management, job accounting, apart from that we have another thing aspect. User admin also will be considers the accounting. So for example, in the Windows also we have user 1, user 2, like in the same category. In Linux also we have. Okay, so that is also like, for example, one account will have that certain files, account 2 will have certain access files, like for that. So we will maintain the accounting management. Okay, so that is also supporting that. That is actually user, it is comes under the user account management. So account management. Okay, so these are the things will comes under that. Sorry guys. And next thing, types of operating system. So when we coming to talk about types of operating system, there is the time sharing operating system, patch operating system, distribution operating system, real time operating system, embedded operating system. Like there is a lots of types, many particularly 5 types: patch operating, time sharing, distribution operating system, and real time operating system, embedded operating system. Okay, so according to that, we will going to work on all the things. We maximum in the Linux, we will use distributed operating system. Okay, so that will be comes under the real time only, but it is actually it is comes under the distributed operating system. Okay, let's see that some example of operating system, that is the mostly used operating system we know well: Microsoft Windows and Mac operating system and Linux operating system. In today in the world, so most of the people using Windows operating system, high peoples are using. And next level we can consider Linux and Mac OS. Okay, so Microsoft is, I told you that it is we need to pay for it some amount, but in we are not going to directly pay. So some, like for example, you are buying the Dell laptop, so Dell company will pay for it and they will buy the operating system. They will install the operating system, their hardware components, and then they will sell it with us. Okay, here we can understand one thing. Microsoft was the introduced the Microsoft Windows. It is at the mid of 1980s, and it is preloaded most new PC personal computer. Okay, and whenever we are buying that new personal computer, they will preloaded, not freeloaded. It's a preloaded, but we thinking we are getting freeloaded. It's not a freeloaded. We are paying something. Okay, it is making the most popular operating system as well as. Okay, so second thing, and most expensive laptop today, like most of the people will using for the some brand of name, but actually like based on the need only we need to buy the laptop. So you are buying 1.5 lakhs laptop, just assume if you're like you are buying that Mac OS, so minimum cost is 90,000 minimum rate of the cost. So that same configuration laptop we can get it in the 40,000. So what I'm telling, so don't get the laptop for the name, just get the laptop based on your need. Okay, that is very important. Okay, so for example, if you are like coming to the second point, so Mac OS, it is created by the Apple, and it is also comes by the preloaded. Okay, it is all Mac operating system computer will having this. Even that you can do that virtual machine and you can run it the Mac OS, but I won't support that. Okay, in your Windows machine, if you want to work in the Mac operating system, you can create a virtual machine, you can run it. And very popular another operating system, that is called actually Linux after Microsoft. So according to my skill, according to my experience, so like Linux, it is the very powerful and very broader area operating system. So like for example, so we know today we had so many innovations are coming. Okay, and particularly so some people, like for example, you just assume Google, Microsoft, IBM, SAP, like there are so many worldwide MNC companies like that. So they are making research on agriculture, or they are making research on medical field. Okay, so like whichever field they are doing the research, they will they will create some package, they will run it some application, they will use it some kind of analysis, right? In the all the places, 80 to 90 percentage, I'm talking about industry, I'm not talking about single researchers. Okay, the people will mostly use Linux operating system only because of the reason this Linux is the open source. That is the first thing. And second thing, whichever you need to customize on the operating system, you can customize, because this code is freely available. You can modify, and whichever way you want to customize the operating system, you can customize. And this will be getting priority based software like a Windows only. Okay, it just looks like a Windows, whichever way you are handling it. In the same way, you can handle the Linux operating system as well as. Okay, fine. So now we comes to that, we understood about the Linux importance. Let's start to know about what is Linux. Linux OS is the free and open source, we know. Actually, it is behaved like a Unix and like. So Unix, like it is the operating system. So it is also behaving like that only. And second thing, So Linux was actually convinced and created, which means so Linux project were started, and they are convinced with the Intel company. The Intel company also accepted to do this project, and then Intel it's provide the computer i386, that is the processor name. Today people are using Pentium i3, i2, i5, i7, i9, i12 like we are using, right? According to that, one of the processor i386, okay. So based on the chip, so they are used in the personal computer. In the personal computer, they use the personal computer. In the personal computer, they used Linux operating system by Linus Torvalds, okay. So he is the founder of Linux operating system, okay. So he founded at 1991. And next thing, so this Linux was adapted to like kernel. So what is kernel? So kernel, it is kind of cell scripting. Just for understanding, I'm telling. So kernel is it's just converting whatever we communicating. For example, if you are pressing A, that operating system will be pass the message to the kernel. Kernel is converting the A into numerical form, which means zeros ones. And then so after getting that machine executed for the zero ones, and it will be replying the kernel to the particular application. So like in the case we discussed the operating system, right? So in here in this Linux, the kernel will be playing the major role as an interface between the operating system to hardware. Let's see that in very detailedly, okay. So here it is created as a freely we created, okay, and it is the replacement for the Unix operating system. When it comes to before the Linux operating system, there were the software called Unix. So Linux came to replacing the Unix operating system because of the thing, the Linux it has performed well. Okay, fine. So next thing, you have to know another important thing. So there is some features about the Linux. So Linux like a kernel. I tell you what is kernel. Okay, so we have a slides about that. And open source we know, and it is the primitive multitasking purpose. We can do multitask at the time, and it is so portable. It is so portable, and it is good security. Okay, so that is the reason the software still it is alive, and the many of the research field they are using Linux operating system. Then Linux architecture, this is the another important thing. So you can see that, so I said in the previous case of the operating system architecture, this was the operating system simple architecture, user application operating system hardware. And according to that, while you looking this Linux architectures, so you can see that application layer, and after that you will have cell, okay. So after that you will have the kernels. So applications mean we have that star office. In Windows we will use the Microsoft Office, and there is the star office in Linux operating system. It is open source, it is predefined installations, okay. And after that there is the Mozilla Firefox browser, and there is some other applications as well as. And if you need to install any other application also, you can install it, okay. So you had a setup application, that set of application installed on the operating system Linux. That things wants to connect or that things wants to execute main. So cell will be help cell programming be here, right? So that cell programming will be like, for example, you are opening any file or you are clicking any buttons, you making some comments, you making to run some programming, you making to some any process, everything will be work based on the cell programming. That cell programming will convert, like connect with the kernel. The kernel is reading the cell programming, and then it is converted into zeros one, and then the zeros one will be read by the hardware devices. After that reaction of the hardware devices, the same kernel will be receiving that output from the hardware devices, and it will be replied to the cell program. That cell program will be executing the as application based, okay. So these are the cycle will happen in the Linux architecture. Utilities mean same application, that's all. I hope that you got understood what is Linux architecture. So if you're not able to understand, please let me know, I help you to understand. And the next thing, let's go with that. History of Linux. So Linux, I told you that it started in 1991 by by sorry, I forget the name. Yes, Linus. Okay, so like Linus started at the 1991. Okay, so the first version was released. After that 1992, that license was Linus license was given to this Linux operating system. Actually, it is working under the Linus license. Okay, so then that is added the Linux like no work under the GPL, and it has added the importance decision that will be contributed into success, okay, into this Linux success. And after that 1993, so there is the company is called Blackware, okay, so Slackware, so that become as the first widely adopted distributions, okay. So there is they create the distribution that will be called as the Slackware, so that is also in Linux based operating system. And 1996 Linus visits the aquarium. Okay, so they get the bit by bit penguin, and the choice to comes under the Linux. Okay, so in that time only 1996 only they changed the logo into penguin. Still people have in the Linux operating system penguin. Okay, and 1998, so that takes kinds the a big announcement for the Linux operating system. Okay, they supported, actually they start to do with the Linux operating system lot. And 1919, so we had it the Red Hat operating system. It is it is a Red Hat is the course of the public operating system. So today this Red Hat application is so like it is so advanced operating system in the Linux. And most of the, particularly IBM industry, particularly like in most of the industry, they are using Red Hat Windows for doing some service of process in software service. Okay, so like when it comes to like it is came at 1999, but today this technology is using much on all the field. Okay, and 2003 IBM runs the famous Linux ad during that Super Bowl advertisement. Okay, and after that it will be comes to the 2005, so Linux appear on the cover of the Business Weeks, because that time it is started 2009 only, it is a start to boom. So that time only the people are all knowing about this operating system. Okay, and after that 2007, I hope I was used to 2007, I hope. Okay, I was used 11 2008, I was used the Linux operating system, but the name was different. So I also used the same penguin version. Okay, let's see that. So this Linux foundation was formed at 2007 only. So because they formed the foundation, they start to get some donations, and they started to maintain the operating system development. Okay, and 2010 we had it like smartphone. I hope everyone like almost do you know when the smartphone we start to use? Do you know when we started to use smartphone? Do you know when we started to use smartphone? Any idea when we started to use the smartphone? Any idea when we started to use smartphone? Please do the communication, guys. I'm just only talking, right? So I'm not mostly I won't like in the theoretical sessions mostly I will talk, and the practical session, so like you have to connect with me and you have to talk to me. Okay, so it is small question based. Okay, Madhumita. Okay, fine. I think you are from Tirunelveli or Tharmaburi. 2012. Okay, Sija. um, don't say for this, like here it is we have 2010, right? அது பேஸ் பண்ணிலாம் சொல்ல வேண்டாம். Like you can tell your own answer. So I'm just talking about assumption. Maybe this year, maybe that year. Like I'm asking 2009 Ramalakshmi. Okay, fine. 2009 we will use Nokia, I hope. Okay, no problem. Okay, 2014. Yeah, okay. Okay, 14 is okay. Because I started to use 2012. I'll tell you that I started to use 2013, I hope. 13 or 14. That year only I started to use. Okay, great. So actually, maximum of Indian people start 1992. That is my date of birth. Logeshwari. I am talking about here 2010 only. You are going 1992. So Linux actually born in 1991, and it has came to maturity in 2005. Then how Android is born at 1992? It is no way. Okay. So 2010 actually Android is born. Okay. So because of the reason Linux kernel, okay, so this Linux kernel can be adapted in the all the platform. So that is the beauty of this Linux operating system. So that is the reason they implemented the mobile operating system that is called actually Android. So that is entirely working Linux based only, which means kernel based only it is running. So now we can come to the conclusion that Android application it started in 2010 means like they will bring it the mobile phone maybe 10 or 11 because I hope that I remember I start to use 2013 and 14 I start to use in between of the time I start to use the smartphone. uh, so now we can come to the conclusion it may be started from the 2010 or 11. Okay, so before that whatever you said that year we people won't use the smartphones. Okay, so after the 2010 and 11 only we start to use. I know, remember, I can remember 2012 Sony that they have a mobile phone. That mobile phone had the Android operating system because I know that I have remember my friends used it. Okay, so after that we had it the smartphone. So you just assume today we had it so many smartphones because of the reason this Linux operating system. Okay, so it is easy to build and easy to make it everything in the smartphone. Okay, fine. So this is the history which will be start to develop until 2010 and 11. So in 11 there will be become a Linux turnover turns in 20 and it is power the gold supercomputers as well as what I'm telling. 2011 only they supported the supercomputer. Like there is a supercomputer system, right? There they are installed the Linux operating system. Today the maximum of supercomputer they are using Linux operating system. But because in initially they started at the 2011 only. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Next thing we have to know what are the distributions are available in Linux operating system. First one is the Ubuntu, second one is the Debian. So next Fedora and Kali Linux, Arch Linux and Raspberry Linux. Like based on the need we can use the operating system. Academic and industry side, so most of the people will use Ubuntu and Debian. And academic side, in big data companies will use Fedora, or else we want to do clustering, Fedora we can use. Suppose you want to work in the network based, you can use Kali Linux. Or if you want to you want to learn ethical hacking or you want to do hacking, you can learn Kali Linux. And Arc as well as Arc, it is a geo based actually. Okay, and Raspberry Pi. So if you want to create any mini computers, mini kind of computers, or you want to create any components of process as based on the computers, like we can use the Raspberry Pi board and you can install the Raspberry operating system. That is also Linux based operating system only you can use and you can make it. Okay, so these are the major and important distribution in the Linux and mostly used in regular life I'm telling. So these are the operating system mostly used in the industry as a human, as a single man also they are using. Okay, fine. Next thing, we have to know the kernel well about that. So I said this kernel will be interact with the hardware. So in the hardware, what are the things will be available? So there is a CPU and the CPU is, you know, that central process unit. So in the unit, you can see some hardware components only. And memory also is there in the same CPU and then device. Sorry. Okay. So in application, so whenever we calling some application, that application will execute through the CPU. Maybe the CPU is required in the application, maybe required this some memory. That is also can be taken from the kernel, and this application wants to call some devices, for example, printer, or like you making the mobile charger, or you want to share some file from the mobile, or you just sharing or transferring some file. In the case, we can use devices. Okay, so what I'm telling, so if you want to access the third application, which means devices from the computer, so that is also can be connected with the kernel. So now we can comes to know about the kernel. Kernel is running the each and every process in the operating system. The kernel, it's providing some service to all applications. Okay, so that is the main purpose of the kernel. So it is also doing some protected services. That is very important. Okay, so protected service to whom, to who, like it is giving. To whom means it is giving the service to the application to the hardware system. Okay, so this is the thing that is happening in the Linux kernel. Second thing, there is some kind of a process which I discussed already. Anyway, let's see that memory management, process management, device driver management, system calls and securities. All these things will be entirely handled by the Linux kernel. Okay, so that's all about that Linux kernel introductions. Okay, so we know about the operating system and we know about Linux. Okay, so what you need to do for particularly Idiki and Thermopuri and Tirunelveli college students. I hope that you people are not dead. So please do now at least. Okay. So if you have a laptop, please go to virtual machine, virtual box. Please search virtual box in internet. And there you will find out the link virtualbox.org. Okay. So this is belongs to Oracle. Just click on that. Then you will get like this window. Here you can download directly, that's not a problem. Okay, but you do one thing, just go to the downloads directly. You click on the downloads there. Okay, so there is the downloads, right? Click on that. So then you check your computer configurations, which means you need to check what is your operating system, what is your things. The maximum use 99% definitely we will use um, Windows operating system. Some cases, particularly for government laptop, in I think in India, in Tamil Nadu, so many students are having a government laptop. I also used it. Okay, so I also used the government laptop. Nearly 4 years I used the government laptop. Really happy about that laptop. It is good for me actually. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about that. So if you have the laptop in government laptop, so suppose I hope that they will defaultly having operating system. You don't want to install that, so you will have a BOS operating system. Okay, BOS is like you will have in the government laptop. If you want to know that, you take the photo, just switch on the laptop when it is initiating the program, which means it will be open the block class screen. After that, it will be start to run the program. Before starting that, so it will become 2 lines. Okay, so in that 2 lines, you just take a photo and share to me, and I will confirm you have or not having. Okay, so after that, if you are not having that operating system, then you can proceed with this process. Otherwise, you can go with that operating system. You can see here there is the Windows host, there is a Mac. Suppose you are using Mac, you want to run the Linux means you can select on this. So or as Solaris you are using, that is also operating system. If you are using, you can go. So we mostly use Windows operating system. You can go to Windows host. When you are clicking Windows host, it is start to download. Okay, so let's wait that one. It is start to download. Okay, so then you can install this. I hope I'll show you, but it is difficult for myself. I try to show you. Okay, I just executed that one. After that, what you need to do? You have to download Ubuntu operating system. You just visit the Ubuntu. You just simply need to visit Ubuntu. Okay, so you can just make to Ubuntu download, and then you will get the Ubuntu download desktop. You just click on the site. So you have to ensure that the authenticated website or not. Okay, just open the site. Then you will get the download options. Okay, you just come here also you can click on, so otherwise you just come to this place. So this is that version, it is currently there, it is a LST version. Whenever you are looking LST version, please select it. So it is actually the last version of the Ubuntu, which is the stable version. It is a stable version. I just download on this. Okay, I just click on the download. It start to download. There won't ask any messages. Okay, you can start to download the operating system on your computer. Okay, I'm just cancelled now. I downloaded already. Okay, fine. So after completing the download, what you need to do, so please go to that virtual box. So you start to install, right? So you just click to install now this operating system, virtual box. You just make it the install. I started to install. So guys, everyone need to do this process. Please open your computer, please, and start to do. How many of them following this? Anyone? யாராவது follow பண்றீங்களா? I hope that some of from Kerala, I hope you know little Tamil, right? Can understand. Sometime I will talk in Tamil, so for that making to the understand, but I don't know Malayalam. Okay, great. Thank you, Swati. Hey, what about others? Yes, great, Sweta. Okay, fine. So how many of them trying this? Whatever I said, how many of them trying? It will take some time, so that is the reason I'm asking some question. Like in that time we can utilize, right? So yes, Rani. Yeah, I did, but I'm not received. Yes, Abhirami. Okay, great. Okay, so how many of them following this from Tamil Nadu College, Dharmaburi and Tirunelveli? How many people are following? Great, Agalya. Please keep follow all the steps, and I help you to complete all the things quickly. Okay, I hope if you are cooperated in this course, I will complete within the 1 month, because I'm frankly tell you one thing, like if you completed this course you can move into next course. Okay, so that is the reason, like you have to maintain the attendance. For example, there are so many courses, right? So you are in the foundation. If you done the foundation, they allowed to work with the, or allowed to study the AI course, or full stack development, or they will allow to cloud computing. If you like to study this cost of courses, so this minimum cost will be actually for this course 40,000. But actually we people are providing in free of cost. So you have to utilize the things. You have to utilize the opportunity. Okay. So please do the certification. It is very important for the IT career. I can understand, Swati. Okay. Swati is fine. Okay, fine. Okay, so it is a great opportunity. You have to utilize properly. And I will expect two things only. You have to come regularly. Second thing, you have to do some communication. So we are getting some response, right? Here. So that response is very important. Answer right or wrong, that is not a matter. But only thing I expected, the communications. When we have a making communication, it will create some connection between us very strongly. So then only, can you please share the PPT for our friends? I get a confirmation, then I will share with you, because usually we will share the content through LMS. But in this time, we are not prepared the LMS learning management system. We have a portal for the students we will provide, but this time we changed the program architecture, so that is the reason it is delaying. Don't worry, I hope that I will get confirmed, and definitely I will share with you. I hope that 99% we will share with you, don't, and 1% I want to get a confirmation, that's all. Okay. Okay, fine. And I expected only thing, attendance and communications. If you missed that attendance, like for example, you had less than 70 or less than 80 percentage, you have attendance, just assume they won't allow to go with the next level of course. That is very important, attendance and your interest. So usually for the next courses, like for the next level of courses, okay, so we will recommend, particularly I will recommend, like which are the students attended regularly, which are the students who not attended regularly, so how students show the interesting, like all the things that we will update, we will have a meet, I will update about that in that time. So you have to make remember your name on myself. Okay, you have to make the remembrance to me about you. That is very important. So that much you need to practice, that much you need to involve on this course. Don't make silent. I like to tell you one thing. You people are girl students, okay? So you don't have to worry anything about that, okay? So you can talk well, and you can communicate in your own language. Even if you want to communicate in Malayalam, so you can communicate. If able to understand, I can do. Okay, yeah. So 1 minute. Okay, I'll add some sounds. 1 minute. I'll check and I'll come. Please. Okay, fine. Okay, so your contribution is very important. Let's see that it has completed the installation. Okay, you can see that here. I just going to upload operating system. I already download the operating system, sorry, operating system on my computer. Here it is in the download. I hope where it is the file. I hope. Okay, so I already downloaded. Don't worry, I can fetch it. It's not a biggest matter. Okay, so now what you need to do, you have to import that soft operating system. Okay, so you can select the new Linux operating system. I had it already. If I want to delete or if you want to like remove it, you can do. So if you want to add new, so you just click on the new. Okay, then you can mention what operating system you are going to do. I hope that it is very smaller, right? So you can make it zoom. So in my side I can't make it, but if you are using mobile phone or laptop, you can make it zoom your screen. Okay, so okay, so first I'll just selecting my operating system. So here, 1 minute, I just want to check it. Yes, it is there. Okay, I just want to create it. I just telling because I'm just working with the Ubuntu, so that is the reason. It is a 20. I just given 20 Ubuntu 20. So after that, I can select which version I want to use here. Okay. So actually, I want to work with the Linux based, and I want to tell that what versions I can use it. So these are the operating system can be supported by this version. So I want to go with the Ubuntu 20. Okay. So because I download the version. Which one I download? Ubuntu 22.04, right? So accordingly, you can select it here. So this one, okay? So this one I started to go. So now, if you want to mention that, if you want to mention that operating system file, you can select from here itself, okay? So already I had it the file, okay? Ubuntu in software folder, I have that file, okay? Anyway, for you, I just make it the searching that file. Okay, you can go to the downloads. I had it in the download already. Yeah, I was make it change the folder name maybe. Okay, so you can check the downloads I have or not. Okay, I'm not having. So I have in the file in softwares D drive. I'll just go to the software and I can see that version. Okay, it is actually 20, but I'm trying to download it. Okay, so I'll just keep trying to download. Sorry, it will take some time only for me. Yeah, it has started to download. It's take only 10 minutes. I thought I downloaded, but it was not. So most of the sessions in my sessions will go more on practical based. So like, but in foundations, maximum 80 to 90%, like no maximum of concepts, like wants to go with the theoretical, but I will try to convert all the things into theoretical based. Okay, let's see that it start to download. It will take some time. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Anyway, so we don't want to waste the time. So after selecting the versions, you can start to work. So now I had a software. I have a file. I have a file. So 20, 20.04, right? So that is the reason I selected my versions. Okay. So that's all. According to that, I start to do the installations. Okay. You want to do any other things like additions or something you want to mention, you can mention it. But I don't want to do, I simply download the file. I just fetch the file. I'll start to go with the next. Okay. So I don't want to waste the time. I stop this downloadings. If you need to go with that, you tell me. I'll just download and I'll go with that. So otherwise, don't want to waste the time. So that is the UV box users. I show that password. Okay. So they are giving in many things in the updated and the virtual machine. Okay. I just given 1, 2, 3, 5 for making that. 5. Okay, so I'll just go with the next. So you have to mention, so how much memory you want to access. Basically, I had to enough to until this memory. Okay, so this is actually for RAM memory, and similar way you are just selecting the processor as well as. So in the process, you can give until this CPU places, not much more than that. Okay. So we need to give, if you are giving, if you're changing the limit, if you're crossing the limit, what will happen? So this will be that Windows operating system also will get slow. So that is the reason I just given the limit in the green signal itself. I'll go next, and then I'll start to create the test. I mean, sorry, I'll start to create the virtual machine. Okay, so here see that I want to give some spaces, hard disk spaces, but here I just given only 25 GB because 20 GB is minimum required for the Linux operating system. Okay, so that is the reason I'm just given 25. So next thing, I'll just go with the click on the next. So next you can finish this. It start to print that files. Okay, let's see, start to work with that. It start to load. Okay, it takes some time. So let's wait some more time, then I will like now show you that things. Yeah, yes, it started the process. Okay, it started the process. So all that files will be fetched into the virtual machine, and the virtual machine it start to run it. So if you want to install, you can go with this. Okay, I want to install. Okay, I start to install that operating system. I just click OK, capture, and I'm making bigger for making to that clear understanding. It start to install. It takes some time. Okay, so anyway, this is the process we want to do it. Okay, after the completion of installations, we will go with the next things. Okay, so I hope that in Dharmaburi College and Tirunelveli College will get go. I hope that you get some clear idea, because last time we were not discussed this much clarity, and even that we were not discussed that much depth as well as. Okay. Okay, guys, don't miss my classes. I request you all to come all my sessions, and everyone need to properly attend the session. So I hope that I want to. Yeah, some three people were left. And initially had it 45 attendance, now 41 only. Okay, so could you switch on the camera please? So let's take a small selfie, because I'll almost end my session. Okay, so this installation will take some minutes. Okay, I'm requesting you all to switch on the camera, please. Hi everyone, so please. Yes, Janani, please switch on. I'll stop my sharing the screen because I can easily take photo. So see that my computer started to slow because of the reason virtual machine. So that is the reason I just taken all the things in advance. Like whoever can see your photo on the screen, like can you take a screenshot? உங்களுடைய ஃபோன்ல இருந்து ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் எடுத்து நம்மளோட வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல போஸ்ட் பண்ணுங்க எல்லாருமே. ஐம் ஆஸ்கிங் எவ்ரி ஒன், யாரெல்லாம் ஃபோன், இப்போ யாரெல்லாம் நீங்க ஃபோன் சுவிச் ஆன் சாரி கேமரா ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கீங்கன்னு பார்க்க போறேன். லைக் நீங்க தெரியுறீங்க, பட் உங்களோட ஸ்கிரீன்ல டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பீப்புள்ஸ் வில் பி அவைலபிள், ரைட்? ஸோ அதனால ஐம் ஆஸ்கிங் யூ ஆல், ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் டேக் த ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் அண்ட் ஷேர் இட் இன் தி வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப். ஐம் ரிக்வெஸ்டிங் யூ ஆல், take the screenshot and share it on the WhatsApp group. So நம்மளோட டெக் செக்ஷன் 2.0ல ஃபவுண்டேஷன் கோர்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறதுல லைக் ப்ளீஸ் ஐம் ஆஸ்கிங் டு ஷேர் தி ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட். ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் எடுத்து ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. குட் மது, ஐம் ஆஸ்கிங் எவ்ரி ஒன், ப்ளீஸ் கோ ஆன். குட். Anybody's from Kerala, like Idiki, so please mention your details in the foundation course. Okay, so then only I can understand how many people are coming. And today I will share the are you, don't highlight me, I'm looking very hard. Sunny. Okay, so anyway, I'll just I came so close. Yeah, enough. Don't highlight myself. Don't highlight myself. Please highlight yourself, because now only I can understand my face how it is. So please make your highlight your face. So please highlight your face. Don't highlight my face. Yeah. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. Okay. So after that installation, nothing. So it is installation will be keep running. Okay. After completing the installation, we will resume the sessions next tomorrow. I hope that tomorrow we have session at 6:30. Okay. So yes, thank you all. Thank you so much. We will end the session today. We will please tomorrow please join sharply on 6:30. Okay. The same session will continue. Okay. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you all. You want to share anything, Ambiha?
Sir, we are not
Abhirami, sir. Abhirami, you want to share it anything?
we are not in the WhatsApp.
Ah, yes. I definitely I will share with you today. Okay, I'll share with you, and we will connect you. Don't worry. I'll share the link with you. You just text me, and you and just help me to join other people's. So thank you all. Thank you. Bye bye. My system it is hanged up. That is why I just close the session. Thank you all. Thank you.